Now, a Sydney couple has returned home after spending more than 100 days walking through Central Australia with their toddler.
The Joneses set off from Port Augusta in South Australia and tackled some of Australia's most difficult terrain. Reporter Mark Reddie caught up with them at North Bondi.
Lauren and Justin are slowly returning to life back here in Bondi after trekking 1,800 kilometres through Central Australia with their 18-month-old toddler. They join me now. Guys, welcome back. Why did you decide to go on this adventure?
Look, the real reason is that we met and had kids in our 30s, and so we spent our 20s looking for adventure, finding your purpose and meaning, and we just didn't want to give all that up just because we had kids.
Do you think that a lot of parents feel that once they have children that's it, life's over?
I think there was elements when we felt that, and that's why for us this adventure was finding out what was possible with a young family. And I guess the reality is leaving the house with a kid is hard, so you might as well leave the house with a kid and do something you love.
So it was an 1,800 kilometre trip from the centre of Australia down to the coast near Port Augusta, and we dealt with a wide range of conditions out there. The heat out there of 42 degrees down to -2 at night time at the starts, flash flooding, rains, dust storms. It was amazing seeing all that sort of animal life along the way: snakes, parenti lizards, camels, dingoes, and I think Morgan really enjoyed that nature input. Morgan was pulled along behind Lauren in a cart that was probably about 70 kilos, had big fat tyres on it, and everything she needed to kind of survive and thrive out there.
I was basically her camel.
You were her camel.
Yeah.
And
Wasn't very glamorous.
And I dragged a cart that was about 270 kilos with all our food, provisions, water for up to about 150 litres at any one stage. So yeah, it was pretty brutal.
What are some of the lessons that Morgan learnt, say, compared to every other toddler out there?
I think a big reason we wanted to do this trip was to raise a resilient, curious, nature-loving kid, and that's really hard to do from the confines of, your living room walls. She had taken her first steps in Bondi literally a week before we left, and she learned to walk in pretty extreme conditions, massive pricks that go through shoes. And so all of a sudden she was learning to run, and she became a pretty tough, resilient little
And now
kid.
you can run fast like an emu, can't you, Morgan?
Yeah.
What sound does an emu make? Yeah, that's right. Life is hard with a kid. I mean, and it can look so bleak at times. We first thought, our first 3 months of Morgan's life, like, how can we actually possibly have a normal life?
And merge family life with adventure.
True. But it's always going to be hard with a kid, so you might as well go out there and chase what you're passionate about. And I think your children need to see you be passionate about something, and they see that and they'll take from that.
In the beginning, we were barely going 10 kilometers a day because it was just so much juggling, and it was pretty chaotic in the beginning to get into our groove. By the end, we were doing 30-kilometer days. She was helping us set up the tent, helping us, but she would do the pegs. She was finding sticks for fire. So you become a little, I don't know.
It's a family unit that's actually traveling across the desert. We're not just taking her, she's part of it as well. And so seeing that growth in her and the growth in us along the way was pretty amazing.
A lot of people say when you have a kid, you have to settle down, you have to find security, bubble wrap them, like life's over. And the fact that we could prove to ourselves in our own small way that that wasn't the case for us opens up the door to what's next. Can you say hi?
Hi.
Hi.
Thank you both for joining us, and thank you, Morgan, for taking time out to speak to us as well. So there you go, a very unique parenting style with a sense of adventure.